Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Call of Cthulhu. My name is Daniel, aka, and thank you for joining me. We're going to pick up where we left off in the last episode. We're here in the Nameless Bookstore.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it holds the truth. Okay then. I am hoping that we'll have lots of esoteric knowledge here in the library, but I'm doubting it. More of these Cthulhu lamps. Darkwater history. Harry Campbell. 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up until then the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Celia returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all of the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast into the whaling ship. Oh, so it wasn't a whale that the Scylla found. Interesting. Very interesting. And various diagrams. Oh, that's not good. A Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shales of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Okay? Alright. We'll go back there here in a minute.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers placed truth on the same footing as a religion.
These Tibetan writings are the origin of the esoteric movement found by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the text of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought they didn't exist. This book, discovered in the Nameless Bookstore on Darkwater, could be as much as fake as irrefutable proof of Blavatsky's sincerity. Ah, more occultism. I will approve that. Skeleton. And would you read the book? Yes?
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
The Malleus Bestiarum. This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I've never heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as the reference work on the bestiary of the myth, thus giving details on the mythology to which it refers. These pages are covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. How we doing on that? Okay, we just got to get a few more bits of esoteric knowledge to level up our occultism. Anatomy and dissertation, or dissection. Some more medicine. Man, libraries, they be dangerous places. More medicine. A few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting this collection together. Alright. Good to know. You know what? Since it's over here, let's refill our lamp. Just to be on the safe side.
What happened here?
Let's reconstruct the scene.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
We started here.
Blood. Seemed like amateur work.
I was hasty in them breaking in.
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then?
Someone defended himself. Alright.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals?
Oh. Wow, that is a bunch of bugs.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Elder sign.
What the... Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. Where did I see it? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
Okay.
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Is that the Necronomicon?
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll come back to that in a minute here.
What a strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
Pin is in the shape of a large dog. Don't know what it represents, but we might find out more by searching the bookstore. We're doing better with occultism. Met the Shambler. Let's see here. Star symbol during the safe. Places. Sanders' residence. Nameless Bookstore. Dagger of the Ancients. Exceptional dagger of Ottoman origin. Probably dates from the 16th century. It bears the elder sign on its hilt. Yeah, there's that. It apparently belonged to Pargali Ibrahim Pasha, Grand Vizier of the court of Suleiman the Magnificent. Legend tells that Pargali used the symbol of the dagger to protect the courts from a creature that haunted the mirrors of the place. What is certain is that Suleiman had his vizier executed. Did he fear him after his demonstration of power? The painting was exposed in Francis Sanders' gallery, but I think the creature no longer requires it for movement. It went to hunt down the Sanders in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. I do not know where it comes from, but one thing is sure, it is starving. Does it succeed in sending it back to its world? I'm not sure. Do not make the mistake of taking this jewel for an inanimate object. The soul of a powerful sorcerer, devourer of bodies of the Ling cult, a sect from Central Asia, lies in this jade amulet. His very characteristic form, a massive hunting dog, represents the transformation of the sorcerer into a man-eating ghoul. Whoever unearths the amulet wears around his neck has risked the sorcerer's wrath. The latter will return in the shape of a formidable hunter to track and dismember all defilers. Taken from the Malleus Bestiarum by Abigail G. Interesting, okay?
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
The key of Relaya. This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and branch whose purpose is to push back the forces of the Great Old Ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from the last owner, Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. Remains to be seen whether he knows the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Interesting.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Huh. I mean, safe. I don't have the combination yet.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If someone finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still on this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and clues to the combination are found within 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that the reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger this represents, and you will be able to act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor suffer from your actions. Okay. So, 3 cylinders. More medicine. Okay.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
A book of esoteric philosophy, a key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical movement, written by Helena Petrova Blavatsky. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection on treatises and works on the esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
A book of spells supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon, contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. Written by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.W. de Lawrence's original.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Opera in 8 acts by Benvenuto Chieti Brugdehera, an infamous lyrical work published in Italy in 1768, said the opera was performed only once, resulting in audience riot that left several dead and missing.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
A collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse, written by Nostradamus, translated by E09 and Theophilus Whitebridge.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Apparently quite a bit. An ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in distant past Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Things That Should Not Be. Collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends written by Albert Wilmarth, a professor at Miskatonic University. That is quite a bit.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
Written by Hermes Trismegistus and translated by Nathaniel M. Copius. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by legendary philosopher. It includes translations of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists. Interesting. Okay.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
All right. Do I have any more stuff that stands out and that I can read?
Things are not looking good. A kind of chalice.
Interesting. An ancient chalice goblet made of gold and decorated with precious stones. Do the rubies and sapphires make up a specific motif? Alright. Before I worry about the listening to those. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. Check. Astronomy. Oh, did I get all three? Okay, I did get all three.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect... I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods.
Okay.
Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Okay. So.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, you're starting with the crack. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to stick with 5. And then over here...
The Queen has little protection. I'm going to say 3. The Queen has little protection.
539? He said there were 9 tomes.
What did Drake say about this collection?
That's number 9.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Yeah, Azathoth and Other Horrors, known as Nightmare Lyrics, the collection of poems sensationally received when first published in 1908.
So these are the volumes that... What did Drake say about this collection?
9, okay. 539, let's give it a try. Yep. All right. What do we have here? That's disconcerting. Riverside Institute. In the Nameless Bookstore, Pierce traced a trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the letter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin lied inside. Irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Back into the Institute. Well. Let's see what happens.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him. "30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin. Tender at the touch. Slightly sticky.
Like...
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
Like a...
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
Okay.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
Tentacles.
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
He's turning into an octopus.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations, and this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
I've seen suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration. Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
You cultist!
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
All right, then. Ooh.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
Yeah, it turns into a deep one. So that Cthulhu can have his way with you.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
Oh, that makes sense then. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and leave this here. We're going to pick this up on the next episode. So I hope you all have enjoyed. As always, my name is Daniel. Thank you for watching. You have a great day.